Let's go.
I'm so excited for the final game of the day. We've had 3 different winners today. Kinda. Team Liquid, we've said enough. Picking up that 3rd win, but who will get the 4th? Plenty of teams have the potential to do so. But who's really got what it takes, Rich? We're waiting to find out, of course. People out of the plane now. We're going to see who goes where, if anyone switches up, if we see a little bit of a nice circle, maybe switch things around. I loved seeing a new circle like that. We really don't often get to see it. So for me, that was very, very exciting.
It's almost an identical flight path. We start just above Stalbert. We're into the left-hand side of the West of Sosnovka military base.
Oh, milli-circle.
Imagine that. It's been ironic that we've actually had more milli-circles in both London and the Kickoff Cup compared to what we had in the entirety of Phase 1. I think we had 1 potentially. Certainly a milli-circle would, I say, switch things up. I mean, Liquid still battered everybody yesterday, regardless. And I mean, their commitment was fantastic. I feel like I'm repeating myself time and time again, and they are the team that, as you said, should not be named. We need to focus on others and breed a bigger picture here, because there are teams coming up from Contenders, and it's those that we've been wanting to put on show this week. The Contender teams are currently just chomping at the bit and looking for their foothold into Phase number 3. Phase 3 being off PEL, the Pro League started off. We've just ended Phase number 1, and your top 4 teams went to London.
Take us to the same place.
We almost had something different. No, we didn't. It's the same. No. It's literally the same game. Same circle, same flight path.
What about Ruins ending? What would you? Okay, let's look at Central Circle. What would you like the ending to be?
You know what? South George, just outside the back of it on those little hills between that and Hospital, is really, really fun.
Well, that is nice, actually.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's rough as hell, don't get me wrong.
Oh, it's
because
horrible to play, but it's fun to watch.
You either get people from the town that just rain down fire from you, or people sit on top of the hospital, or people sit in the buildings on the coast. It's awful, but it's fun.
Exactly. We're just here to enjoy ourselves. I feel like it's going to end around Gatka somewhere, but I really would like Ruins. I love Ruins. I think it's good fun. It kind of forces people into those kind of close quarters fights. That makes me happy.
It's wonderful when you see the nades going, when they lob them in the air nades, and it's just a missile that comes down from the opposing side. They cook it, lob it up, like we saw yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
Vert nades are so fun to watch. It's something you have to be aware of, because, you know, with it being that high, with how high the nades will be going, as soon as they touch down, you're dead. There's no running from them, so you have to be aware and watch out.
I like it.
It's good
We'll
fun.
see.
It's good fun.
We shall see. Any changes in drops? I'm seeing Besiktas taking over Watertown.
This kind of happened last time. They were stuck between all the teams, but it was the fact that Liquid went a little bit earlier, which kind of boxed them back in. I'm hoping the circle isn't a repeat of last time, and we go maybe somewhere weighted towards Gatka side in the west. There is the fields. We've seen those field endings. There's a little radio tower or an aerial tower, what do you want to call it, just in there. That's been fun. You can hunker down and take up the plateau. We've seen many teams fall at the demise of the Hill. You can call it whatever you like. Everest, Georgia Paul Hill. I've heard a few names in NA as well. They do a different version, but
North American calls. You just can't take them
I'm
seriously.
sticking with Everest. What are you saying? Georgia Paul Hill? Just a big mountain.
Yeah. To be fair, the one thing we're just going to talk nonsense, but back in the day, the one thing when I used to play competitive games a long time ago, the NA teams always had this really smart idea of doing like almost single syllable, as short words as possible for any calls to make them as clean and like clear as possible, as quickly said. So it was things like earth, wind, fire for like a building, like first floor, second floor, third floor. Like EU, we explained it a little bit more, but I always like that. I like the idea of it. It's smart, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of these teams are already implementing that. So these guys have been playing games for so long. You know, you look at these guys; they've played it since Armour days. I mean,
they do it in South George. I remember seeing. Remember the old Kingwin roster?
Yes.
I remember seeing that. Well, I see their notes. They showed me their notes. They had call-outs, and they've stuck with it to now. Like the back six, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's simple as that.
Nice.
And they keep it small, fast, condense. And the quicker you can say something and give the information, then fair play. Being able to say a number and pinpoint exactly where they're going to be.
I always think it's really cool. I genuinely, and I think because we play so much of Erangel, we see so many of the kind of hotspots that come out, and especially Miramar as well to a degree. A lot of the buildings, the specific buildings, start to have these sort of names attached to them, whether it be player names or because of something happens. I always think it's really cool to see the progression throughout it, and obviously it happens by just simply playing this game so much, you start to see that come through.
Ibi has his own. They literally call a position in Pachinki Ibi, and it's the back quadrant of houses just next to the garage. Quite funny. FaZe was streaming not so long back. He says, gonna go with it. Drops down. Who kills him?
Ibby.
Literally murdered him with a gun. It's so funny.
That's brilliant.
So funny.
I do like that. I really, really do. It makes me happy. It makes me a happy person seeing that sort of begin. The next thing I'd like to see is, I know we got the OMG stuff put into Miramar. I want to see, you know, like in CS, they have like the sprays on the walls, like that nade. I still want to see something.
Yeah, there's so many options,
do it.
right? You could have 4 tombstones.
Yeah, it's something
You could
cool.
have a box. You could have his name there.
Or it doesn't have to be super obvious, but it'd be awesome for someone
Lee
to like
said you
come
could
across
literally
it.
have 17 flowers in a circle.
That'd be pretty cool. Also look like you're summoning some sort of demon.
It needs to be immortalized. It has to be. That nade was heard around the world.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to see it. I really would. Something subtle. It doesn't have to be like super in your face, but I'd really like to see it. Anyway, we are starting to see the teams on the rotations. Nothing to report as of yet.
Speaking of Brendan, double
Give
drop,
them
double
two.
drop. Calling double. I don't even know why I'm singing like that.
I was about to say, are you okay?
It's been a long day, and Liquid, as if they didn't need upgrading anymore, they're going to be gifted 2 crates. There's 2 players there.
Zoekt Een Naam aren't far from this either.
That's the same team which took that position early last time, right? Because they got involved with the third. You know what?
So, yes,
it's almost identical. You've got Ival on the back lines who keeps an eye on the 2 little towns or villages just over to the right.
Oh, Ibby's got a big gun. Oh, he's got potentially 2 big guns.
Imagine. Imagine. Good God.
Get it. Yes. Delicious.
Give me. Share.
Look at the grabby little hands.
Take the 249, James.
Oh, that's very nice. I like that a lot. And there's just a car just wheeling in. Hello.
So this is almost the same position as before with Zoekt Een Naam just being in front of Team Liquid. But you know what?
Who's helping? Stop helping Liquid. They don't need more. They're fine. They're fine as they are.
We did say it was their server after all. Good Lord. I mean, that's a care package in there. 2 players, 3 tiered up, a 249, and an own with a 4 times. As if they already weren't in the lead. Oh, and Samta's got a K9 as well, just a bit more range for you.
I mean, they're all sorted. What? I just would... A very weird thing on the map for a second. It's not actually real. For some reason on our map, James was in Zarka. I was like, he's gone very far.
Oh, now and again,
It does. It just bugged out for a second. Don't worry. I was giggling. We do see those early kind of back and forths. Se7en, Besiktas, Tornado Energy. Everyone's kind of centralizing to, like, no one's gone west. Obviously, it moves away from water, so you're looking at the vast majority of the water down the line. It's probably it's a smart choice. But there is just no one beyond... I guess the Georgia Pole bridges. Everyone is just sat right in the middle, as central as they can get, and no one has gone down yet. This is 8 minutes worth of a game with 0 casualties.
And players are almost in identical positions. The main difference, actually, I don't think I touched on it at the start. NIP did change up and did what I suggested in the previous round they would do. They went to Lepovka. This time, that's their backup drop. No one's there. You don't get the aggression and the pressure from the Knights, who like to usually kick it around Mansion. So it's good for them. They're up in the north, just looting above, transferring and driving around. Avangar and Ence. Ence are in the same spot. Liquid same spot. Besiktas. Who else we got? FaZe. This time they've opted not to go into Pachinki. Desperados are sat in the 2 farm buildings just to the east of Pachinki, overwatching everything and all the rotations they do come through. Unity, once again, last ones to the circle. This time they've not gone as wide and around Yasnaya. They're just down below it, outside of the fields of wheat.
I do. In the fields of wheat. Please, Teresa.
Brexit intensifies.
Please stop it. I get enough of that.
Oh, it's this. Oh.
We've got literally the same game. All right. It's unlikely to go exactly where it went before, but maybe it will, and it'll bring me deep, deep joy. We'll find out. All the teams in the north, funny enough, almost exactly the same teams, have to compress. NIP going to go on the long way around here. But really, everyone's committed to this already, apart from NIP, who went further around, which is nothing really to write home about. But all the teams in the north are going to move south. So Roshok and South is just got... Still, no one's died. No one.
Really, it intrigues the living hell out of me how people are sticking to the same paths. Jokers, they've gone a little bit wider this time because FaZe basically just murdered them last time.
Oh, is this the first one?
Speaking of murder.
Could be the first death. It looks like it is. Vargo found it. Vard's gone down. That will be a run over, a pickup. First to fall is Vard.
And again, it's the same position. Okay, from a different trajectory into this one. Uh-oh, Ibby's got an arm. He's found a face. Can we have his POV, please? Because that could be some serious damage. Punching from that green machine. NIP are rotating exactly polar opposite to where 3D Max.
And they're pushing this. They're pushing it. Ibby's running this. They're pushing out of the compound, the ground they have. They want these kills.
That's disgusting bait. He's allowed NLT.
Oh, they're running up
stop
at this.
feeding liquid, boys. Come on.
They don't know yet. They have no idea. 3D Max aren't that far off either.
He's got
a nade. Please, let's go to Ibby. Please go to Ibby. Please, 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 please. I will pay you to go to Ibby. Yes, yes, yes. Nade. Nade is a little short, but it sent them scattering, because look who's turned up. It's the farmer with the gun. Ibby is about to unleash fury.
He's melting them.
Has just flooded them. Northern Lights have fed the beast, and it is not a pretty sight. The Jokers, though, could third party. There is potential. Team Liquid are aggressive, and this is the scariest thing with this team when they start feeling the game.
They don't care anymore, do they? They just don't care. They can also leave him to bleed out from the simple fact they've got the knock, so the point will go Liquid's way regardless unless someone steals it. There you go. The bleed out comes through. 3 points in the bag.
Where is the other Northern Lights player? Oh, he's miles away. Quizzy is a million miles away.
I think he just run is like, well, this is not good when Ibby's just running at me with 2 level 3 guns, or crate guns if you want to call them. I'm going to evacuate the situation immediately.
So Ibby does have both guns, doesn't he? He didn't share them out.
He's been greedy. I'm okay with it. At least he left where he could have gone and dropped level 3 gear in the trees and come back for it and picked up the ones and just, never mind, just been silly. Avangar, this time, are going to find a different entry point. They're just below Yasnaya.
Yep.
Unity, again, not as high up this time. They're more on the eastern flank. FaZe Clan, you cop for it on screen. They've been upgraded as well. They've got a crate, so 3 crates already in play. It's going to be Fuzzface by the looks of it from the map. Desperados will keep them at bay, though. They've gone for a very 1-2-1 split, taking full ownership of that field just outside of Pachinki. Jokers are hoping it kind of goes their way. Zen have committed, again, to the same position as before.
God, NIP over here. 3D Max were over here before last time, weren't they? Or did they go somewhere else?
Now you got
me
thinking.
I think Avangar were over there, weren't they? They came through the ruins, and then 7 were ahead of them. It's not far. It's not far. It's not exactly the same, but it's not far. It's pretty close. It's not far.
At least Ence are across the road this time early.
Correct.
Different teams in Watertown. You got Besiktas there, 7 as well. Franco Rio, I apologize for saying your name wrong all week. Him and Airkey. I know, don't worry. I'm aware of it. I'm writing these things down. Ence going for a slightly early adjustment. I like this from Ence. They're pulling out of Rozok because no one's there to come down from the mountainside and from the north. They know it's clear. So by doing this, they extend their arms, reach into the circle. Taking up that Watertown position, I say Watertown, excuse me, Water Tower position, is so critical in giving them basically central access to the circle, but more importantly, so much viewership. Full 360 vision from up on that Water Tower. 2 players will stay back in Rozok just to cover the lines and watch if anyone wants to try and enter from behind. I'm fine with it. Leave them there. Go for the 2-2 split. School, again, DA still got it locked down. Having a better game last time.
Has to be careful. Gets away from Na'Vi. I was a bit worried if he'd swung a second later. You can see the state of the car.
They're slightly different, aren't they? Na'Vi, in fact, no, Na'Vi are also in the exact same position.
Na'Vi is still around that area.
It's FaZe that have kind of kicked them out of Potato Hill a little bit further down. Maxi will have to run this line. There's not much he can do, in my opinion, because FaZe are also waiting with open arms just to the south of where he'll be heading. Unity, though, going for a hard push here, Lauren. We can see it on the map. You might be able to see it on screen rather shortly.
Just sending it in between Digital Athletics. Those shots coming up are against them. Na'Vi have spotted out the FaZe Clan. They're looking their way, but we see Unity have made it, but only into the loving arms of Ence. The Finns from above will do the damage. Shadovnik goes down. That is a big no on the route of can we get here? It is indeed a no. Fuzzface found Senya. That's a big fragger lost for Na'Vi.
Why are Unity committing to this? I'm still seeing them moving here. It was actually 3D Max who was down that one before the pull-ups there, though. Uber, M4, red dot, lean to the left-hand side. Unfortunately, gets caught off guard, though. But splitting between 2 teams, that's Na'Vi and FaZe from the backlines. That has basically just helped out FaZe Clan. So the off angle does cost them. They'll be able to get the revive, I would have thought.
Now, Maxi's still alive. To get back to Uber's a little tricky, but they should be able to do it. Team Liquid on the move. They found out 3D Max. 3D Max were moving around the western side. Team Liquid do have 2 players here. The other 2 are slightly split further apart, but not by much. Vargo has been a big name as well. Don't forget that at all. Fire comes back in. Finally, Liquid catch a glimpse, and that's all they generally need. Nades could be next. This is a very dug-in position for 3D Max. Hard to peel and pry them out of it.
Liquid just need to be careful they don't get kicked from behind, because Besiktas have an eye line on this, and NIP are holding it down in ruins. Don't forget about 3D Max. Before, they were where we just saw Unity fall. They were crushed into a corner and backed up against cars. Noki will try and go for the reposition, but Samti does have a read on this. Again, I'm just casting off that map.
It's an eastern swing. We've got a new circle. Just a lot of field.
Do it.
Go on, bang it out, Samti.
It happens now and again.
Boop. No.
And when it does happen, good God, is it beautiful to win this.
So, Team Liquid on foot, on the move. They're moving in. Joker's sending it right now. Moon is leading the way. D's, Ramosh, and Tab following behind. Zoekt Een Naam is taking shots on the way. We see Liquid now joining on the fight. Besiktas in the north as well. Jokers have pulled up into a bit of a terrifying situation, but Team Liquid need to get them gone. NIP are just behind two of them. This is going to be a bloodbath in the west. Tab on the drive, on the run, trying to make it to safety. Gets to at least obscure some of the vision behind that hill, but Gemty's already found one of them. Mini unleashes, does not want to outsay his welcome. He knows there's going to be teams in ruins, and Besiktas to the north. You may not confirm these kills, but they don't really care about the points right now, Liquid. They can just free farm their way forward.
Na'Vi may have just picked up a point, sees Orange Snow out in the open from Unity, and I think he might even be in an unresable position because he was down the hill, basically at the wit's end of Ence. Pokemolodoi again does confirm that one, so that's the one I was talking about. The bleeds out there. There is no response. Liquid will be turned up to the fight, though. We've got the Jokers just over the hillside. Se7en, they are blazing into school. Try and get in the window. If you do, it'd be fantastic. Jumps off either way. The breach is here. The clear might be a different thing altogether. The vehicle will give them a line of defense. Samti's pulled up. Ibby's gone down. They've lost all of that crate gun utility now.
But that
it's handed over to the Jokers, but the Jokers, look how damaged they are. Samti goes down as well, and that's because you've basically got Zoekt Een Naam and Tornado Energy with so much line of sight from the central of the circle. They can open up on all teams in a 360-degree angle.
Yeah, Team Liquid are certainly not out of it yet. Jeems and Gemty are still alive, but they're being held out in the west. They weren't able to move up as quickly, and you are seeing Digital Athletics trying to keep back Se7en, who are knocking at the door. The revive's coming in, but you're going to see these nades starting to flood out. Sixmo did find Frank. He can no longer help. He cannot hold back the side anymore, but is there a response? And one of them going to push out? Are they being cautious, being careful? I can't tell. Cars galore, smokes are up, Se7en is inside, and back he goes down. Buster breaks through, sprays in to confirm what he began, gets to cover, but there's Crab. One more player comes around, Mert's there, he trades it back out. We are seeing a huge invasion, and the Digital Athletics have been eliminated. Buster just destroyed them.
That's an unfortunate low position for DA. Yes, they may be in 4th position, you can see on your screen, but look at how close those scores are. Down to 10th place, it's just 10 points. One win would solidify that and cause a big old jump up for those at the bottom. Besiktas now need to hold point because NIP, they've made their way through Sunken City and they're going to be knocking at the gates, knocking at the door. Besiktas do have the only compound on the side of Venice, Watertown, whatever you want to call it. There's a million one names for that place. But they can basically just hold and pin NIP back. But we can't rest on NIP. They're a damn good team. And it wouldn't surprise me if they had about 16 billion nades between them as well to make a full assault onto this compound. The smokes are initially going to go out here. So this is them just basically boxing off the windows so that Besiktas do not know which approach, which angle they'll be coming from.
That bike's on fire. The
That
bike's on
grenade is
fire, the nade is close, it
Stolen!
doesn't matter, it was stolen!
Yoink. Oh, that's a shift.
Northeast shift. School is in. The field to the west is in. The touch of the Roshok Hill is still potentially in as well. We'll be keeping on tabs with that as the Desperados start their push to the east. FaZe Clan between them. NIP are moving up. They're about to breach compound. We're going to have fights absolutely everywhere. Desperados are knocking on the door of FaZe. They are literally next to each other. Besiktas are holding firm as best they can. Pokemolodoi keeping teams busy, but you can see the Desperados there. They're working forward. They're being meticulous. They're being careful. But Na'Vi are the final beasts. They're in the circle. They hold the line right now.
But let's not forget this circle. If you do play this game regular, you understand the topography. Basically, from school to where Tornado Energy is, it's just no man's land. It's dead open zone. Nothing. You get one hill just outside of school, which Se7en will play off the back
There's
of.
that FaZe fight. Uber's already found them. Fuzzface is there. It's Ence finding them. Desperado swept up. They could not find the FaZe Clan. So I'm not sure how many of those revives could come in. I think they're going to get stolen. They are. Here's the engagement. MBS catches Besiktas on the run. Lux can no longer escape. Na'Vi continue to hold that line. No one gets behind them, in front of them, or around them. Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Oh, no, I just saw that. Oh, it's gone so wrong for FaZe.
Everyone's
Uber.
on the move. Those Zoekt Een Naam have made it into the circle, out of their compounds
Uber
where they were.
just-
Besiktas now making their approach as well. Trifeli's there, though. Besiktas might have the fight of their life from Trifeli up on that hillside. FaZe, they do make it into the circle, but unfortunately they die as soon as they do that. Mexi, last man standing, and now will be thrown to Na'Vi. 3 players looking directly at him. I mentioned Besiktas. Trifeli's position is so devastating for them because he basically holds the angle. Bestelok puts the nail in the coffin for FaZe. They're out 12 position. Liquid, how in God's name have you done this? They've made it to school. They send it from the polar opposite end of the circle, and they're alive and kicking inside a compound. In what world are we living? How do they survive that entire gauntlet of teams just looking down at them?
I could not tell you, but that's an 8.5. Crab just backs it off the window ledge. Jimty has to run. And look at this, they're reading the nade so well here. Quizzy is just about alive, but for how long? Tomel stops Trifeli. Quizzy gonna trade it. He's gonna get back into this. Besiktas are finding it harder to stay alive. The trade came back out though. He went down to the blue, but you can see everyone fighting tooth and nail to just chip, find an angle to get in this circle. Ence are suffering casualties.
That's a huge kill. To track out Trifeli from that position basically allows them an entry point to this circle that can hunker down in this ditch for now. They've got the vehicle to play off the back of. They know for a fact they can't go north. As soon as they go up onto that ridgeline, either Unity or Ence sees them, they're dead to rights. Held at gunpoint by Zen as well. Besiktas is in a terrible position. Circle, updates. We're going central. We are going to no man's land. The strongest point at the moment, it's going to be school. It's going to be where we're looking from the swimming pool. You'll see these players from Se7en,
Crab's
they're just
got
going
the
to
orb.
eyeline this and look across.
Crab's got an orb and a whole lot of bullets to kind of go into that too. He's very well geared here, so I'd be a bit worried. And they're going to consolidate forces in
this.
towards the swimming pool room. That entire building, that's theirs. Liquid are going to take the other side with merely 2 players. They're not exactly going to be hyperactive in this. You've got to look on the extremities, on the outskirts, because that's where the crunch is. Rich, you said it, it is no man's land because there's very little territory here. There is almost no cover in this. There's very few hills to play off. There's bits and pieces, and they're fighting over scraps.
Ence's attention has been turned to Unity, I believe, which gives a bit of an opening here for
Squeaky.
Besiktas. Maybe Squeaky has the info. He does. Grenades initially up and over. No tag off the back of it. Never mind. The gun does the job. Rustamar sits him down. Ultra holding on for dear life. They move up into 10th position. They have been battered on arrival. And all of a sudden, why the hell not? Squeaky, job done. Ultra Besiktas
Na'Vi sending
gone.
it, Rich. They're trying it.
Jeez!
Jeez! That is perfection with the mini. It may get stolen, but it was a great bit of play. Se7en are racking up the kills. The Team Liquid started the breach from Zoekt Een Naam towards the compound in the south. Has gone poorly. They've been losing out on players. Tornado are here, 3D Max are here. The push from Ence trying to sweep into the circle went poorly for Rustamar. He met Unity. And now Zoekt Een Naam trying to get off a hill, trying to stay alive. There is very little to be had here. Oh,
my
the
God.
nade
What?
is so good from Melman. And Page has just seen his teammate get completely destroyed. And Compo is close by. You can imagine that's going to come through. Crab trying to get in on this one with that orb from range.
Zen have just been completely broken to pieces as they make their approach from that lower tower. Down they go, and now 3D Max, the next one. They're inside, though. They have something to play with. Look at this, just the Death Squad. Tornado Energy roll through them and allow them an entry point to this circle. This plateau now just becomes a fight of 2 angles. You need to be careful you don't extend too far up north, because then you'll open yourself up to the angles of what Unity will hold in the north. Avangar Snoopy, Christ now is alive, but he is. He's on the wall of school, so for how much longer is a different question.
Squeaky's been tagged.
And he's dead.
I think we've got a little bit of respite for a second. 7-team stand, 16 players. The nades from 3D Max are getting closer and closer. They're going. It's go time. Nades come in. They're good.
Oh
they are very good.
God.
Tornado gets decimated by 3D Max as the south is now theirs. But for how long? Unity can see this, as can Se7en. Na'Vi have a remainder. That is a doozy, but Team Liquid have moved out slightly. They've already adjusted a touch here. I never know what Team Liquid are up to, but they seem to have such a good read on these things. And we have a bit of a school ending as well.
Mortar Strike comes in and 3D Max survive. What the hell was that? How does he even know that angle?
That's so good. Gemty has just taken out their danger man. That was the Orm. That was the level 3s. That's a lot of presence now gone. That is a big presence.
The thing is, he's been allowed to get to that point because Se7en's so focused on the circle and picking up kills, they're not watching from behind. So Liquid's been allowed to press that wall. They've gone for the 1-1 split. Gemty getting to that has kind of thrown everything that was Se7en trying to build. A spanner well and truly into the works. They're going to be focused on teams out in the open, easy points. But that's been taken away from them. The Orm's done. It's dead, and there's 2 players alive.
3D Max are just working their way through in the middle of the open. This is no man's land. There is very little cover here. They are fighting for the smallest of territory. Again, the smokes are keeping them alive. Unity could destroy this. Unity could rack up points. Se7en will not stop firing. Buster finds Phantom. In the meantime, Team Liquid will be looking to find an angle on them, but there's Unity coming in. They're racking up the kills. Noki just pulled off a 360 to get into cover. At least he's got some style, but he's watched his whole team just get slaughtered.
And Unity, for them, this could be some easy points. Speaking of easy points, James does confirm one, or at least that's another knock onto Se7en. Wait a minute, Se7en have fallen at the wayside. So that's only 1 player alive now inside pool, and they're making a push on it, Lauren. I can see this on the map.
If they want to win this, if they want to be proactive, they have to take this building. Snoopy could be a spoiler. Do not forget, he snuck in there as well quite late game. I think the time is now passed for Team Liquid. They can't flex towards that. Noki could play spoiler here as well, potentially, if Unity do not go together. Spotting a doozy could potentially hinder this. They might have to peel away and focus on him, or just kind of get their plan in motion because they can't take this lightly anymore. They know there's a player down here. But committing to that angle could be a problem with Na'Vi going down. It's game on. Noki knows he could be in trouble now as Unity. They don't know it's a doozy. He's gone down, but they should do soon.
Finally spots him.
He's with the angle.
This is wobbly.
Oh, finally stuck it, but that was not a pretty display.
Squeaky bum time, but he still gets the kill regardless. K9 in hand, so a little bit of range here to work with. Dependent where this circle will go. Doesn't really go anyone's way apart from the people that'll be playing the wall of school.
Yeah, but Liquid aren't in the most ideal situation in a way because Snoopy's going to have to push up. Se7en still have cover. So they have to kind of play into their hand slightly, but we know the Team Liquid will make a plan in mind. There has to be something that they can achieve from this one. They have to think this one through. They have to get past one of these teams. If they are unaware of Snoopy, he could be a real nuisance because he could just play this out late. Unity, sure, they've got the attention of everyone, but if they have a little dip or a deflate to get to, just slightly, even just prone up there, they can wait this out.
They'll have the trees to maybe deny some kind of loss.
10 seconds, Rich.
There's
it's
that
go
tiny
time in school.
plateau, but as you say, Snoopy's the one that we have to keep an eye on because he could damage both of these rosters.
Where's James going?
I think he'll go down low because everyone's up high at the moment. You do have these back. Oh, Buster isn't. Good God, I didn't know he'd hear.
Yeah, Buster's outside. Buster could potentially find Snoopy.
Oh,
I think he's seen Snoopy. He doesn't know what he's seen yet. Battlelands gets a tag or 2. That's not too much of a threat just yet. They still need to work forwards. They're just trying to keep people away from that wall. That's their plan. Right now, we need to just be looking at school. Recrin finds Edelweiss. It's go time. That's the overpeak. James has to push this, and he knows it. He's already in the building. He's off. Buster is still completely tunnel visioned on Snoopy. He has no idea who's here. Now there's a player inside. Snoopy's a threat. Where do you look? Where do you run? He finds Snoopy, but he's shown his position. James has a nade in hand. That's gone down to clear the angle. And it's go time. Unity have taken the advantage while it was in their hands. Excellent play from them. Buster has got a great position too. He's working that wall, but do they know this? I think they do. I think they might have a good idea that he might be outside that wall. How well do they know this, and how many angles can they provide to see over that wall?
The biggest benefit that Liquid have is they have the level 3 gear, so they'll be able to take this fight one-on-one with this single-player Buster and take a few bullets and maybe respond. I love the play what Unity have done. While all this has been going down in pool, they've just run the open ground.
It's so smart. That was the best chance they had.
I can't believe that snipe he got. Christ alive, it was just a banger through the window, knocks him out. I mean, Se7en essentially had the best position in this, right? They were looking at all these players that need to come, but they've been broken apart by several rosters. Smokes are up. It's go time. And it might be go time for Gemty. That's going to be a wake-up call. Puts him on red alert, hits the wall, but there's nowhere else to go, Lauren, but forward. He's down.
It. He can't do anything other than that. James, I think, knows where Buster might be, but still he has to play it slowly to ensure he's not still in the pool house. Gemty is down, and there's nothing to do to recover that. James is running out of utility, I'm pretty sure here. Buster has a couple more smokes, and look at Unity creeping forward. Recren's still alive as well. Do not think he isn't, but a spot comes out from Buster. He fights one. James now surely knows where one is. Battlelands holds down again. This is all about timing. That's his final nade gone. He has one more smoke to put into play, and there it goes. He's being forced forward by the circle. Is he going for a last-minute revive here? He is. He's trying to get Jumpty back up.
That's so cheeky.
This is madness. He's on the verge of that smoke. He's being kept safe by one more. And they are back alive. Jemty is just going to be traded on. That's it. He's running just to allow for the trade, but James has too many targets. Surely he can't do this. Buster finds... What? James just found one. It's still game on. He sprays it out of bullets. He can't do it anymore. And now the 1v1 begins, but it's all regret. Surely, no. What? Buster just found that, did he?
Yeah, he did. He knew exactly where he was from that initial engagement just a second ago. Turns on a pinhead, lands the one bullet between the eyes, and it's job done. Se7en pick up the win.